And that's why I'm running a little bit late, Kylie. Did what I did
Yeah,
with it.
it looks sensational. It just really is a good look. You can actually, like, it's almost like you haven't even got hair.
Beg your pardon. Worst thing about like getting my hair removed, Kylie, and going with this appearance that I'm carrying is the shine.
Yeah.
I've got this
Very
shiny.
shiny.
I've got a shiny head.
Well, we are supposed to be shining lights. There's a verse somewhere that says they will come to the light of your rising. So you look quite lighty. You look quite shiny.
Right.
Oh, maybe it's you're shining.
Welcome to everybody that's joined us for happy hour today. If you're looking for something serious, something sensible, then this is probably not the place to be.
No, definitely not. No, we don't have much
real conversations about mystical things, and we want to keep it lighthearted because we just don't think, this is a theory that I have, Kylie, and you know that I have many, and I'm quite open to them being not correct as well.
Yeah.
But I just think that if we're on planet Earth for whatever amount of time, that we may as well just try and slip some fun in there.
Yeah, I agree. I just think fun is
and
good.
Like maybe the more, the merrier.
I think so.
Because it can be pretty serious.
Yeah, who's up for fun?
I am. I can't see. Like these glasses are like fun glasses. These are my happy hour glasses, and it's the only time that I wear them. So I think that it sort of sets a trend. It's like a marketing ploy to fool you into thinking that it's happy hour, which it is. But I don't wear them the rest of the time. And the rest of the time, the reason why I don't wear them is because they're not prescription glasses, and I do normally wear prescription glasses. So I can hardly see. And I'm trying to plug things into this power board in this dark room right now. So whilst I do that, then you lead with something.
Yeah, well, like what a crazy week it's been. So much going on around the world.
It's Monday, Kylie.
Yeah. Well, maybe I'm talking about what a crazy weekend it's been.
Yeah.
Like lots of crazy things happening around the world. I know there's always crazy things happening around the world. There's lots of things that maybe make people start to wonder about life. What is this all about? What's going on? What are we
Well, that's why I'm here. I'm here to find out so you can tell me what life is about. That I'm not so confused all the time.
No, I think you've got some answers.
What I've been thinking about the last couple of days, we just went away yesterday we just jumped in the car for a couple of hours and drove to another town and met with some people that we love, people that are, what are they? What sort of label do we want to put on those guys? They're friends, they're family, although they're not like family as in related to us family, are they?
But they're in our family, because we're all one, really. All of us are part of the same family.
In the car, we drove up, we visited this extended family that we have, these people that we have a lot of similar interests, etc. And we had a wonderful time. Thank you. There's a love heart on the screen. And thank you for joining in. This is the idea of being interactive in some way. So please join in as much as you can, comment, etc. I don't know what I just pressed there, but I'll deal with that. So we went and visited some people. We had a wonderful time. We went to a beach, a headland. It was really a special day for us, and we come home. So we're back where we normally live now.
Yeah.
But whilst we were away, as we were driving towards this place, we were framing up spiritually what it is that we wanted to arrive in when we got there. So we were already there before our bodies got there.
Yeah, we were. It was so cool. And it was like that whole time, like it took us about 2.5 hours to drive there.
Oh, the glasses are crooked, apparently.
Yeah,
thank you.
Yes, they are.
I think it's my head. like that maybe.
Yeah, that's better. Yeah, you do have a crooked head.
I do have a crooked
Yeah.
head. I have a crooked head. And I have a big lumpy head as well. I'm a very special person.
Yes, you are.
So as we drove
Mm.
physically towards this location to be amongst family of ours, we were, what language do you want to put around that, Kylie? Because I constantly battle with language because I'm aware of some of the people that listen to this, and some people kind of speak. There's lots of different languages with different people that we know.
Well,
So what were we doing? What were we going? What did we do in the
well,
car?
we were with intention framing up the amazing things that we wanted to be a part of when we landed where we were going. So say if, for example, if we were going to a friend's birthday party and we were really wanting it to be an amazing time, so we can actually engage with the heavenly realms. We can like engage with God and we can fill that space with angels, and
so we weren't praying
activate
for things to we weren't going, oh God, when we get there, can we have a really good time, can this happen or that happen? We were actually intentionally setting up our day, weren't we? We were looking we were looking in the room,
seeing what was there
before we got there.
Yeah, it was awesome.
We had a wonderful time with those people, and we're back in our house. And part of the conversation though yesterday on the way there, when we were intentionally setting the scene for where we were headed for, was the renewing, the revival, the rebirthing. So that word, that prefix that's on the beginning of a lot of words, that RE prefix, we spoke a lot about that on the way there. And I'm not sure how it even came up, but the more we spoke about it, the more it was another one of those discussions around language. And I've got a bit of an issue with one word in particular in the English language, and I do want to point it out to people, and I do want you to be aware of its existence and just challenge your thinking as to whether or not you want to use the word anymore. And that is the word retire.
Oh, come on.
Yeah.
We need a retirement revolution.
Yeah, because I just think that if you're tired, the word tired, like, you're sleepy, you're worn out, and at the end of what we're told is our working existence where we are tired, we need to retire, or we do retire. That's what happens in this English language, in this place that where we are. We go, oh, I'm so tired from all my work for all these years that I need to retire. I need to go into retirement. I'm meant to go into retirement because I'm tired. But the prefix RE on the beginning of words means, have you got anything in front of you, Kylie?
Yeah, it means again and again and again and again and again.
So when you put re on the beginning of a word like tired, you're saying that you're going to be tired again and again and again and again.
Yeah.
And you're framing up a future of tiredness with the only recovery possible from that tiredness to be retired again.
It's crazy. It's like the opposite thing that you want at that time of your life when you're wanting to enjoy the fullness of your hard labors or the fullness of this newfound freedom. Then we start saying, oh, we're retired.
Now, I thought, Kylie, a better word is, instead of when we get tired, our intention is that we would rather be fresh.
Yes.
So instead of saying, I'm so tired, I need to retire, how about we go with, I'm so tired, I need to refresh?
Yeah. Well, I don't even like any tired isn't even a part of it. Let's leave retired and tired and all of that all together. And we're just going to be refreshed. So as we're moving to that place where we're wanting to change our life, we're going, okay, we've done this job for however long, or we're looking at downsizing and simplifying our life a little bit more from a work aspect. We're wanting to go that we're moving into refreshment. We're moving into refreshment. We want to be refreshed.
So another reason why I was thinking about that RE word was the word renewed.
Yeah.
Be transformed by the renewing
Of
of
your
your mind.
mind.
So the renewing of your mind, which is spoken about in Romans in the Bible. Hello, Bernie. What's the go with the glasses? I asked last week. Bernie, that's been your biggest problem all your life, is that you don't listen. You have a lot of questions and you don't listen to the answers. Wearing glasses because it's a happy hour, Bernie, and I'm wearing my happy shirt to make you happy. So what I suggest is that you put on your happy glasses and your happy shirt and then join in the happiness.
Yeah, definitely.
So it's good to have you again with us, Bernie, anyway. So renewing of your mind from the Bible. So, you know, I think that a lot of the time we think that this renewal of our mind is a one-off thing. You know, we know so much. We've learnt so much. We've read the Bible. We've memorized it even. We know our scriptures off by heart. So there's not really any need to consider them any further because we've made up our mind as to what they mean. But renewing suggests, with the two letters re on the beginning of it, that it's an and again process.
Yeah.
So are you born again, or do you need to be reborn? And if you're reborn, can you be reborn again and again?
Well, you must be able to if the re is there, because the re is saying again and again and again, isn't it? Like, I love that about the renewal. Like, I just think that new, like being made new over and over again, it's like one of those words that we want to actually like take hold of, like the refreshment. Like, we're not going to retire into this place of constant again and again tiredness. No, we're throwing out that word. We're embracing refreshment, again and again being refreshed, like the again and again renewed, like being made new. Our mind is being made new all the time. And you would think, if you were really like taking hold of the renewing of your mind, that we shouldn't have to deal with ailments, like even some of those mind stealing ailments, like Alzheimer's and things like that.
Who? Alzheimer's.
Yeah.
I just thought of another great, like if you've got the name Joyce, if your name's Joyce, have we got any Joyces on? If we got a Joyce, jump on and comment that your name's Joyce. That would be a fantastic name to have, because with the prefix re on the front, you become
Rejoice.
Rejoice every day.
So, and joy, I'm sure that the original, like part of the original meaning of that is joy, and that's to be in joy over and over again. To rejoice is to be constantly in joy.
Enjoy.
Yeah.
That's a good place to be.
That's cool.
Constantly.
Like again and again and again. And it's repetitive again and again. So the it doesn't ever end. Like what did that person say to us when we were walking this afternoon? Like, another one of these things that we just say that is like, why would we say that?
Alzheimer's. Al's just... it's just a name. So what did the person say with regards to what, Kylie? You're trying to link this conversation
we were walking
somewhere?
And we walked past this person who was picking up leaves in their front yard. And they said to us when we were walking past.
Picking up leaves.
Yeah. And
I know. Yeah. So, yeah, that person commented that they had a lot of leaves to pick up and that it was a losing battle.
A losing battle. It's a losing battle.
Fighting a losing battle.
Yeah, that's right. She said, I'm fighting a losing battle.
So language yet again, and as we walked away, we wished her a very happy afternoon fighting her losing battle, but we spoke about it afterwards in the way that this language that we use, sometimes I think we're a little bit reckless with our language. If you're saying that you're fighting a losing battle, then your intention is that you're going to lose the battle. And also, you've said that you're in a battle, and really you're just picking up leaves.
And no one really wants to be in a fight. Like, we're not created to be fighting, are we?
I don't know. Have you met Bernie, who commented before about our glasses?
I love it.
But yeah, maybe not. Maybe we're not created to fight.
Because I think we're created to be seated in a seat of rest, which is not a place of doing nothing, but it's a position of knowing who we are and being able to live out of that place
Oh,
just
look,
with authority.
I've gone and done something without actually telling Kylie, and I'd just like to welcome aboard.
Hey!
We've got a friend of ours on Happy Hour. Oh, this changes everything.
David G, look at you, got a good background.
Now, can you speak? And we'll just see if we can hear you, Davey.
G'day.
Yeah,
Testing.
all right. We're working on our end, mate. That changes everything for us in the way that we have to now squeeze together, but we can do that. We've never done this before. And Kylie, did you know that we were going to have a guest tonight?
No, I didn't. And you've got a Happy Hour shirt on.
Yeah. So,
I
Dave,
love this.
now, do we call you Dave? That's what's on our screen, or is that what you prefer to be called?
Dave.
Yeah, Dave's great.
Dave,
Awesome.
great. So, welcome aboard, Dave. Now, how much notice did you get this evening before you came onto this Happy Hour with us?
Maybe 22 minutes.
Oh, wow. I love it.
22
Woo!
minutes. So we're thoroughly prepared to have Dave on board. And this is a very serious interview. We're going to be interviewing you very seriously. And it's great that coincidentally you just happen to have a happy shirt. Were you just wearing that already?
No, I did put it on for the occasion. You said wear something happy, and I just thought, well, got
Well,
plenty
thanks,
of happy
Dave.
shirts.
I love
It's
it.
great to have you on, mate. Now, if I do ask you, he's gone already. I know he's back again. Now,
I was going to wear that one, but
Hey.
trust me, I'm a Jedi. I know another mate of mine who identifies as a Jedi. Yeah. So I haven't introduced you to him, but you've been to the town where he lives as well. So Dave, you can not answer questions that I ask if they're too uncomfortable. You know that. I just want you to know that up front. And another thing, mate, is we're not paying you. You're not going to be paid for being on here tonight. Are you okay with that?
sure.
Fantastic, because it's kind of the same pay rate as everybody else on the screen. We're all just here having fun. Now, Dave, why don't you introduce yourself? So, what you probably don't realise too, mate, is that this is not just a happy hour that's streamed right now, but it's actually going to be available for people to watch in the future. It will be on YouTube, and it will be available on Facebook down the track. So if you just keep in mind that if you don't want your mum to hear things or something like that, you know, that it can be looked at later on.
Can I just say one thing?
Yeah.
Sure.
Zzz.
That was part of our preparation yesterday. When we were driving in the car, we went to up near Queensland yesterday, and we were traveling in a time portal towards this location for a physical gathering. And as we remembered our time with you when we were actually physically in the same place, but in Ascension at the same time. So yesterday we sent you a text message yesterday morning, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Just
I
as
was
a
wondering what
reminder.
that was about, but I'm sure it would have had something to do with.
We were vibing the.
So it just came to us as we were driving that we needed to send that to you. And we
Right.
were wondering at the time whether you had been thinking about us or whether there's any coincidence like that happening. And just be honest, there doesn't have to be.
I think I just woke up.
Just woke up, so it's unlikely that you were thinking of us, but we were thinking of you nevertheless.
Right.
So that's why we sent that to you. So Kylie, why don't you interrogate Dave, ask him who he is and how he managed to be on this screen with us.
This is rather convenient, Dave, because I didn't even have 22 minutes notice that I'm actually interviewing you this evening. I literally knew when I saw your face pop up on the screen.
Dave is a musician and he's a mystic. Is there anything else that you want to attach to your title, Dave?
I'm a human being.
I thought that you might be beyond human, but you keep going.
Yeah, I love to be in his presence.
Yeah, I love that part.
There's
Like
nowhere
that's what.
that I can't be. That's where I'm not in his presence.
That's beautiful.
Well, that's the end of
Whoa.
the interview.
Well, I'm like whacked now.
So you're a beyond human being who happens to play music and stuff as well.
Yes. I'm a child of the
And-
Most High God, first and foremost. In being that person that He's made me to be, I can then go and create and be the answer to creation's groaning.
Yeah,
in this
come on.
world.
Yeah. And like, what does that look like being the answer? You know, you spend a lot of time on the road, like you're engaging in all, you know, you're traveling through some of the most spectacular land that we have here in Australia. What does creation groaning and you being a son look like? Like, what does that look like?
Seeing creation groaning, the first part of that question is basically seeing people that are imitating the father of darkness. Like you only ever have, you can only ever imitate as a human being your father of darkness or your father of light. So out of that place, just seeing people in the darkness that that are living out of that place, living blindly, not living to their potential, is sort of what I see. The creation's groanings, and then my answer to that is just go. 2/3 of God is go, G-O. And that's hitting the road with a guitar and a little PA and a 4-wheel drive and taking every opportunity that comes. And I've been doing that since February 2014. So well over 9.5 years now, coming into my 10th year of being on the road. And that's most of the time. I think the most I stopped was during the toilet paper pandemic, where
yes.
there was 99 days where I isolated on 3,000 acres.
Wow.
In the middle of Northern Territory. So that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
And yeah, other than that, life's always pretty mobile. It's always a blessing to be back in Townsville, where I'm at the moment, coming back under my mum and dad's roof and spending some time with them.
Yeah,
and,
beautiful.
Communing with them and family, siblings that are all back here in Townsville at the moment. Just a couple of weekends ago, I had some great camping and fellowship with them. But yeah, good time to recharge back here in North Queensland. And then, currently planning to get down your way, and I'll see you this time next month.
Come on.
So Dave, we're just going to say, do you have a house that you live in regularly?
No, I have a rooftop tent on top of my Toyota Prado. It's a pretty flash one, which sets up nice and quickly and easily. And that is my sort of in-between home when I'm doing lots of driving quite quickly to get to a place. But whenever I'm doing gigs, I always have a place at the hotel or book a motel room somewhere close always make sure I've got a roof over my head organised for that particular weekend, if that's being provided by the venue or whether I do that myself. And then probably more than half the time now, I've got just great friends and connections that I've made all over the countryside where I'll that's probably my number one point of where my travels take me, is connecting with relationships, whether they're of friends to say, go check out this place and look up this fella and person, and and those relationships. It's all about relationships.
Yeah,
Absolutely, mate. And that's obviously our relationship. That's our interaction with you. That's how we know you, from your travels, from you interacting with us and coming and going. And we love it when you show up, and we love it that you never really know how long you're going to be around for. That you sort of make up your mind every day in His presence. So I to the people that are watching, if you've only just come on, this is our mate Dave. He is a muso mystic, amongst other things. We'll just call him that for the moment. And he had 22 minutes notice, if that, to be on here. So it's not actually an interrogation of you, Dave. It's just, I just see this as more of a hangout. It's just like, this is the second best thing to having you in our lounge room. This is as close as we can be at the moment. So we don't need it to be too serious and be an interview type thing, but let's just go right out there and talk about, what's the latest revelation for you personally that God's given you that you know is fresh for you, something that maybe you used to believe to be true that you've changed your mind on, you've been renewed on. Is there anything that comes to mind?
I was just talking to another mate maybe a couple of hours ago, actually, where I made a comment to him where a decade ago you would have talked about mystical and New Age as something to stay away from and of the devil or whatever, which now is just when you really think about it, the mysteries of God is the most beautiful thing to pursue, and to find out about. So that's definitely been one of my big mind shifts, and those mysteries of that's
So
I love it,
the
Dave.
things that you were told in the past, or that you felt in the past in some of the circles you mixed in, that it was unsafe to like investigate outside of those circles, like in a spiritual sense. Is that sort of what you mean?
Yes, in spiritual sense. I suppose even going down the way of like, if it's not in the Bible, brother, like it's not of God. Okay, show me where an ice is in the Bible.
True.
Show me where a refrigerator is in the Bible. It's just
it's so true, Dave. Like, and I just feel like that's where so many of the mysteries are, places that we're just told by somebody who had made the rules about what we can be a part of and what we can't. And we've just taken that on board, trusting that this is what Christians do. This is what we listen to. This is what we don't listen to. We don't want to go over there because that's where all the evil is. And yet some of these places we're now discovering that, we're all the places He's taken us on, especially some of those places like in the middle of the Northern Territory and, into some of these more remote locations where we don't have access to active, like thriving communities of God-loving people, where we're finding ourselves in a space where we've got Him. We've just got Him, and He's revealing Himself to us everywhere, like everywhere. There isn't anywhere where He isn't. And we're just like going, you're over there too? Like, you're in that answer? Like, and you're in that answer? Like, this is crazy. What's going on? How can you be in these places that I was told to stay away from? And he's like, yep, I'm there too.
So if you're watching tonight and you have any questions for Dave at all or for us, or you just want to interact at all, just feel free to comment in your Facebook, however it is that you're watching us now. And we do have the technology available to us for it to come up on our screen. We can see some of the comments about somebody's in bed with a giraffe. I'm not sure what that's about. I'm not sure that I can help you with that, but it must be a tall bed unless it's a short giraffe. What else have we got on there? We've got people telling us they love us, and that's just amazing. We've got people telling us that they're going to pray for us. My glasses are crooked. Oh, that's an old message. I think they're pretty well sorted. So thank you for and we've got Samuel, who's joining us from, where does Samuel live?
Nigeria.
He lives in Nigeria.
I know.
And we've got Beck, who is like, Beck is beyond human. Beck is, well, I haven't got else. Oh, yeah. She is beyond human as well. Beck, I just wanted you to know that sometimes, like on things like this, when I'm talking to I don't know who, like when you don't know where this is going, who it's going to right now, who's going to see it in the future, that it's difficult sometimes to be talking into a camera when you're seeing people that you think you're going to watch that don't agree with what you say, or that are from your past and wanting to remind you of who you used to be and things like that. So I just wanted to tell you, Beck, that when I go into things like this, that I sometimes just think of you, and I just think as if I'm talking to you, and it makes it easier for me to do that. So thank you for playing that role for me, but beyond that role as well.
Yeah.
You're a very special person. That reminds me, Dave, you said that you were going to be heading south in about a month's time. And I know that part of that is that you're heading towards gathering with other people. Did you just want to tell us a bit about what that looks like for you?
At the moment, everything's pretty spontaneous in between, but I do have a wedding with some great friends down in Wagga Wagga in middle November. So I will be down around that point at that time, and pretty much leading up to around Christmas, be around the Albury Wodonga sort of way on the border there. So yeah.
But also, mate, in between that, like I was just thinking about, like there's an event coming up that I think that you're going to. Am I right?
Oh, yes. Yeah.
You're going to that. So how about you share with people what that's about from your point of view?
Okay. That's a Justin Abraham, Nancy Cohen, I think is the two main ones that have been organised for international speakers for a conference that's being held on the Gold Coast. Pretty interesting, because I haven't really been plugged into a church or a gathering or a religious group or a building or whatever you call it for the time that I've been on the road now. Definitely haven't been to a conference per se, so it'd be interesting to see you guys there for number one. I'm excited about that, but also for Justin is just a great man of the faith that's opened my eyes in reading his book Beyond Human. And
wow, mate, you're hitting all the cues with the plugs and stuff. That's perfect. And the thing that across the bottom of our screen, it's got hwob.au, and that's a website, Hub Without Borders. So the conference that Dave's speaking of, there are tickets available to one of those conferences still in Mildura. And so if you're wondering who Justin Abraham is, if you don't know who he is, have a look at that website and have a look around there, and there's tons of things to look at on that website. There's tickets available to those conferences, but there's also probably places where you'll get a feel for what the conference will be about, who Justin Abraham is, who Nancy Cohen is. If you're new to the Christian mystic conversation, I suppose. That might help. That might be a good place to go to see what's happening. If you've heard of Justin Abraham and you think that he just lives in Wales and he never leaves there, then we've got news for you. He's coming to Australia, and please take the opportunity to go and see these guys
Yeah.
in the real at Mildura, because it's a long way from Wales. It's a big effort to get these guys to come here, and it's been a long time in between, like you were saying, Dave, with with conferences and things like that. In a country like Australia that's got such a tiny little population, that's such a long way from anywhere, it's difficult to organise something like this and make it work. So we're excited, of course, as well, mate, to see you there. But we're just happy to see you whenever you're around. And I just wanted to tell you too, mate, we don't eat margarine anymore. There is margarine in our fridge. There is margarine in our fridge. I have to tell you.
Our son bought it though, and we don't eat it. And he just bought it. Yeah, when we were away, he bought it. I know, but
And
I
we've
think
told him
mostly he doesn't eat it though. Like just when we're away, and he runs out of butter.
I saw him using it the other day, and it's just like,
we're just shaking our heads.
Dave will not be happy with that. But maybe he's younger.
Not in my fridge.
Yeah, I love it. Not in my fridge.
So our screen's just frozen up there. I don't know whether it's frozen up on that end or not.
Yep, you guys are frozen. I can still hear you though.
You can still hear. Well, that's okay. We're not going to be moving too much anyway. So hopefully the internet will settle down. We're in a house with some other computers that are just monster machines, sucking the life out of the internet as well. So, but if you can still hear us, that's fine. So, so you going to? Are you said that you're on the go again soon. So you're going to be traveling around playing music. Now, Dave plays guitar, he sings, and he plays saxophone as well. Mate, are you open to finding some more work on the road?
Yeah. The point of getting in the car and getting mobile is the number one thing. I don't really organise too much, to be honest, but what I do have is expectation and just getting on the road. I know it's going to be good, so whether it's an opportunity to play at a bar or a club or at someone's backyard, that's great. If it involves not pulling instruments out and being in the center of attention too, that's great. It just I know where God positions me, right where I need to be. Oh, here we go. Spinning circle with the others now. I think we've lost Kylie and Sean for now. Are they going to come back on? What's going on? Oh, here we go. See a picture of where they left off. No, maybe. You there, Sean, Carly? Might have to reboot this maybe. That's unfortunate. We broke the internet. I don't know if I need to jump off or what. Hmm. Yeah, I might jump off. Bless.
So hello. We don't know whether people have had us on their screen all of that time or not. That's very odd to us, but thank you for those that got back on or stayed on. It looks like we lost Dave. We thank you, Dave, for joining us earlier from Townsville for our happy hour. And now I haven't even got my happy glasses on. Hang on.
Yeah, what's going on? Because you needed to read.
Oh, that's because I needed to read. Now my glasses straight again or not? Very confusing. I've got a wonky head.
I love it.
So I'm getting messages that we're back on. So we're back into happy hour. So thank you for joining us. If you've just joined us for the second half of our happy hour, Kylie,
Yes.
what is it that you're talking about in the second half of our happy hour?
Well, I just love this conversation that we started before we had Dave on
Yeah.
as well, which we did talk a little bit about it with Dave as well, because that was the whole, going places where we used to be afraid to go because language has changed now. We understand that there is nowhere where God isn't.
Right.
We're going into the great mysteries and on this expansive new walk.
Yeah, there's nowhere where he isn't. That's right. Because yesterday I was talking to a fellow who said that in his just language, and I know that he didn't actually really mean this, but he said, I'm chasing after God. Like I'm going to go to another country because I'm chasing after him. But that's almost like saying that he's not where you are.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And I think there is that thing because we're wanting to experience him deeper. Like we're wanting to feel him in our life. This tangible, what is it? There's got to be something more. There's got to be something. And it's like that discovering myself. And it really the essence even of that language where I just need to go find myself. Sometimes that's just finding who you've always been. It's like going on that adventure where you're actually going deep inside yourself to be able to discover who you were always from the beginning and who you are.
So there's Dave G.
Yay,
Dave Graffin's got a message on the bottom of the screen. So he's still able to communicate with us again. Thank you, Dave, for jumping on earlier. Now, on the bottom of our screen, it says Dave Graffin. He says mystical there. Just if you want to know more about who he is and his music, etc., if you've got a wedding, you've got a pub in the country, something like that, where you're looking for a muso to come and take care of absolutely everything, and he can do it all. He can play it all. I don't know how many songs that he knows. It's phenomenal. He's like a human jukebox. He can come and he will come, and he gets around quite a bit. He might be playing over in the Kimberleys or Lake Argyle, and then within a matter of weeks he'll be playing somewhere at Wagga or something like that. So if you're looking for a muso to come and brighten up the atmosphere, get in touch with Dave Graffin. His name's on the screen, or get in touch with us and we might be able to help you to find him as well. So what are you doing with your phone, Kylie? Why are you playing really loud TikToks on your screen right next to my head?
I was just looking up Dave's Instagram page so that people can find him on Instagram.
Yeah, so we were talking with Dave also about the conference that's coming up. So, we've given that plenty of time there across the bottom of the screen. At Hub Without Borders is the website to find out more about that. Now, some of the other things that we do as well as a couple, as the Wildfire Tribe people, is we actually host a men's Zoom gathering every second Wednesday night. And that's actually on this week on Wednesday. It's at 7:30 Sydney time. And that's just like this. Except it's for men in tiny little squares on the screen. And we all sit around on a Zoom and we just talk about the mysteries of God. So if you're interested in joining in that conversation, and that's what it is, it's a conversation. It's not somebody sort of telling you how you need to think, then send us a message. Go to our website for anything else that you think that you would like to contact us about. We do lots of different things, lots of different Zooms. We go to physical gatherings as well. Kylie has a book that's available on our website. It's on the bottom of the screen there. Kylie, have you got anything to tell us about your book? Do you remember anything out of it?
No, I don't. It's filled with a lot of stories out of my life, and and somebody even wrote something about it the other day online, which
Somebody wrote something that's
Mm.
very non-specific.
yeah, I know.
So in the time that you have to plug your book and share your book with the world, the best that you've come up with after having plenty of time to think about it since last week is somebody wrote something about my book.
All right, so this is a post this is a quote from my book.
Yes, we've got something.
Okay, so it says, "We were born to live a limitless life, a life filled with endless possibilities. We were designed to live on top of of our world, not underneath, and to govern within our own spheres of influence in a way that sees victory and freedom in our lives and the lives of all those around us. We were created for more."
For more.
The new now.
The new now.
Yeah.
You can get that on our website, or you can actually just contact us and talk to us. And because Kylie doesn't even remember.
You can actually get the book everywhere. It's available in all bookstores. It's available on Amazon, like anywhere you buy books, you can buy my book. It's everywhere.
Yeah. And if the bookstore does not have it there, they can get it.
Yeah.
They can get it. Yeah. So we also have a podcast that comes out every Friday, and that's available on Spotify and all of those other places where people listen to podcasts. You don't have to listen just on Spotify. I know that Dave Graffin, actually, who we had on earlier before everything went cactus, Dave blew up the internet.
That's the electrical charges that's flowing through between the screens. Come on, there's something wild happening there.
So Dave listens to our podcast, and I know that he does because he gives me feedback sometimes as he's traveling around. So obviously with podcasts, for those people it might not be obvious to everybody what a podcast is. If you don't know what a podcast is yet, they are kind of just like listening to a topic that you want to listen to most of the time, depending on how you listen to them, without ads, so without breaks at all. And you can listen to, obviously, you can just type in Wildfire Tribe into Spotify and it will come up with our faces, doesn't it, Kylie? Our faces are on there.
Real conversations about mystical things.
There's about nearly 40 of them there. And so you can scroll through to the topics if you're interested, or you can start on the latest one that we've put up and go back. And we get lots of feedback from it. We're listened to in 28 countries now.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. Yeah. And, it's like just a lot of ranges that we talk about. It's like we're talking with Dave, and, we're watching that subject about going into play. Like, what does mystical mean? We used to think, oh gosh, you don't want to go near the mystic. You don't want to go near, new age things or any of those things.
You don't even want to burn incense.
Alternative. Oh. No, like you don't want to do any of those things. But we really look into so many of the different things that we've stayed away from as Christians or people that believe in God for too long. So, there's heaps of different topics that we talk about there. What is a mystic? We talk about the dark night of the soul. We talk about things like
angels.
Angels, how to hear from God. We talk about ascension, and we talk about, what else do we talk about?
Well, I don't know, Kylie, because I actually have to listen to our own podcast to know what it is that I've said. Thank you to the people that are commenting on the side of our screen as encouragement there. We appreciate it. See you. Thank you for your encouragement. Thank you for the love hearts. Thank you for the thumbs up.
So good.
Thank you for the go Sean, go Kylie comments. We
Come
appreciate
on.
it. If you have any questions about how like messy your life is, don't ask us for the answer. But if you have any any general type questions or any interaction. It doesn't have to be a question, just like ask us to talk about a certain topic that you've been thinking about, something like that. You can interact. We want to be interactive, this happy hour, so you can put that on your screen. Yes.
So talking about like things that we were talking about, like
Mm-hmm.
like on our podcast and everything, like earlier we were talking about the whole thing, you
Yeah.
know, tired. We're
Rebirth, reborn, renewed.
we're having a revolution on the retired thing. I
Rejoice.
really think we need to just ditch retirement.
No, we're not using it anymore. We don't have
No.
to keep on bringing it up and saying we're not using it. It's not in our language anymore. We've replaced it with refreshment.
Yes.
So as we find ourselves getting to a point where we just want to sit on the lounge and we're slowing down, etc., we're not heading towards any place other than refreshment.
Come on. And, you know, that is my challenge, I guess, to you. Like, just really, we need to be conscious and thinking about the words that are coming out of our mouth. Do we really want those things to be framing up our future? And I was in a conversation with some beautiful ladies yesterday, and we were talking about even menopause. And we were talking about how, as you are moving toward that time when you're in
How does
like
menopause fit into
premenopause.
happy hour?
Well, because it's like we've been told all these things about it, all these negative things, how it's going to, all the bad stuff that happens. But what I believe is that our body knows how to do this. So we need to be reminding it knows how to go through this process. That it doesn't need to be taking on board all of the negativity, and that we're going to be able to do this and get through this and come out the other side with more, like we were saying, refreshed and revitalized. We're going from glory to glory. So we were in little girl glory, and little girl glory, from that glory into teenage glory. Then we went into like adult glory. We're in motherhood glory. And, you know, when you're coming out the other side of that and you're moving into menopause glory, like it's going to be a better glory. Like every glory is followed by a greater glory. Like we're moving from glory to glory. Glory is not going down, getting worse. But sometimes our language is around that. Our language is speaking to this. You know, it's saying that as we get older, things get worse. Like we degenerate. We're you know, we're becoming more forgetful. Oh, you know, just what happens when you, oh, well, why does it have to happen? You know, and I think all of those things, that it's about empowering ourselves and empowering our brain and our thoughts, empowering our soul and our body with the knowledge that that there is life, that we want to move into life. We want to move into a bigger space of life, that we want to be like life, and immortality is our inheritance. And we need to lose the framework of death, lose the language of death, don't we? And come back into that place where we're just framing up more life for ourselves and not framing up things that we don't want to happen in our lives.
Wow. So Dave, who we just had on before, I think we might be able to get him back. We're going to try again. We had a massive moment where Dave blew up the internet and it collapsed, and we had to start again. And Dave's he's actually physically he's in Townsville or somewhere like that at the moment, and he's hopefully going to join us again on the screen. In the meantime, he just sent me a text, and I'm going to read it out. I've asked him if I can, and he sent me a text that says the boundary lines are being redrawn. Spheres of spiritual authority are shifting.
Yeah.
The water level is rising. Revelation is increasing.
Yeah.
Visitation is coming. There is more, so much more. Remain humble but confident. Bold yet dependent. Alert but at peace. Press into his presence. His Spirit is your source of life. Don't squander this season. Hold nothing back. Pour it all out. The glory days are not behind you. They're emerging before you. These are the friends that I have.
Yeah, come on.
This is Dave, who was on before. I don't know whether we're going to be able to get his face back on, but nevertheless, that's words that he just sent me via a text, and these are the people that I'm surrounded by. So thank you, Dave, for the message. And what do you know?
There he is. Come on.
His face is back. His body's back. Dave, that message you just shared with me, which I just read out, where did that come from?
That came from, oh, hang on. I had it a second ago.
I've given him no time at all to prepare for this.
But we're always in the now, and that's the beauty of the now, isn't it?
That's come from Craig Crooney of Portadown, North Island, back on the 30th of May, 2023 is when I read that in its entirety. But that's basically the crux of it at the end. The
what's his name, mate? How do you spell his name?
So that is Craig Cooney, Cooney.
N-E-Y. And can we find any of his stuff online anywhere, or was he a friend of yours? Or
no, that was just a sharing from another person, another great friend of mine across the in another country actually, who shared that with me back in May. That encouraged me. And I just
that was so powerful.
As I've read through that a couple of times, and I was that came to mind that I texted you just before on what we're talking about tonight. Just to be encouraged and excited that this season, to hold nothing back, to pour it all out. The glory days are not behind you; they're emerging before you.
Yeah, come on.
Yeah, thanks, Dave. And that's the kind of encouragement that you've given me personally anyway, aside from sending me that actual sentences before. So I thank you for our friendship. I thank you for being a person there who sends encouraging words like that to me as well. Thank you for being a part of this family that is joining together in Australia, that is starting to, because mate, what we find, and I'm assuming it's like it for you, and it is that there's lots of people that think spiritually different to what they've been brought up believing, etc., who are also wondering if they're alone, and they're wondering whether they're isolated. They wonder whether their thoughts are rational or not, and they're sitting in country towns all around Australia going, wow, I think so much different to lots of other people. Am I alone? So thank you for traveling to be with us at times as well, to join those dots, because the truth is that there are more and more people. We find, mate, it's been really weird because we've actually been on conversations, even like Zoom meetings. He's got the glasses.
Come on, Dave.
We've met Australians. I love it. On Zoom meetings in the US that we've not met in Australia. And they're on Zoom meetings with people in the US going, wow, I thought that I was alone. Like, I've been having these revelations, these new ideas come to me from God, and I don't know what to do with them. And I feel like I'm on my own. And we're meeting Australians online in the US who don't have anybody around them that thinks like them.
Yeah, it's definitely definitely a good thing to be in that like-minded company, isn't it?
Do you know why?
Well, I know for myself personally, when you isolate, I suppose back to what I said before earlier, we're built for relationship. It's all about relationship. So that would probably be my answer.
In your experience, mate,
We like to relate.
is there something different about being in the room with someone than being on a screen, like even just us?
Oh, for sure. For sure.
This sort of feels a little bit unnatural and a little bit separated as well.
Yeah. And it's a great analogy too, where I've heard, not my own idea, but I've heard it said where that reality of having a Zoom meeting through a screen, having a relationship with Papa through a Zoom meeting, there is so much more than that. We can actually enter his throne room and meet him face to face and commune with him and have our daily downloads and live life directly with him, not just through a screen, so to speak.
Yeah. Yet in those moments when you say, like you said before, you said you were in the territory for 99 days during, Australia's lockdowns, where they told you couldn't go anywhere else. I don't know exactly your story as to where you were and what that was like for you. But so when you find yourself alone at times in your life, which do happen, and you find yourself not connected with, people spiritually aligned in thinking, etc., churches, if that's sort of you're used to going to churches and things, you find yourself in a place where they aren't, then how do you navigate that? Have you experienced that at times in your life where you're like Mr. on your own?
Oh, for sure. Yeah, a lot of the time I am alone, even though I might be only a door or a room dividing between me and people out on the other side of that. But yeah, there is a lot of alone time and doing what I do, and it's a time where I have to make that constant decision to plug in and to keep my eyes fixed on Jesus, the author and the finisher of my faith, the one that sustains me, my friend, my helper, my and then through that, it sort of might lead to hopefully have some internet connection and listen to a podcast or and fulfill that need and connection through podcasting, other like-minded people, and definitely first and foremost the Word of God, a double-edged sword to divide the mind and soul from the spirit. Yeah,
I love it, mate. What I find, seeing those times of isolation, like that, because for me, like my thing is always for me, and my encouragement to everybody is that God has a very real relationship for you, uniquely packaged up for you. But so when you're in an environment where you're around that conversation all of the time, and it's a great environment to be around, but when you find yourself in an environment where there are not people to gather with who are like that, that becomes the time for me where it's like you start to realize that the truths of his word and in his word, whether they're true or not to you, like I will never leave you, I'll never forsake you stuff, like that's fine to hear that in a gathering of 500 people and to be around that all the time. That sounds really cool and it's encouraging, it's exciting, but it's not until you're broken down in the middle of the Northern Territory on your own and you haven't got another spare tire, that starts to become very real or not. So that's...
well, I definitely in those isolating moments where things do seem to go wrong, another little slogan that I hold close to heart is 90% of what you worry about never happens. and then relating that to a biblical sense, I suppose, is cast your cares on him because he cares for you. The birds of the air, they have no home, and he looks after them. How much more does he look after us? I may not have a physical home at this point in life. I have had the pleasure of experiencing that a decade ago and previous to that in another sort of lifestyle that I lived back then. And I have faith that if that happens again, that'll be great when it happens, or if it doesn't happen, I just know that my position of freedom right now is right where he needs me to be going and traveling and being where he needs me to be, so I can be the answer to creation's groanings.
Yeah.
Love
so
it,
good,
Dave. You're so encouraging. We'll just put your quote along the bottom of the screen. So if somebody's got that, you best make sure that you know that Dave Graffin made that up. That's his quote. 90% of what you worry about never happens. And I think that's where I was going with it too, Dave, was like, it's also really, easy to memorize those sorts of verses about not worrying or not being anxious, etc., those sorts of things. But they don't become real to you until you need to experience them, or you do experience them.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. No, those experiences of when I left WA and my season was up there and got on the road and everything was hunky-dory to get to Darwin for a weekend of gigs and then get back to the East Coast the weekend after for a festival and allow a couple of days to prep for that and travel to there. In amongst all that, my first day of driving, I arrived in Katherine. I'd done about 600 Ks and there was oil all over the front of my engine, and thinking, what the heck's happened here? I am fairly mechanically minded, but just in that place of, well, it's dark, I'm going to grab a feed, and all I need to do tonight is find a nice camp spot and feed myself. So, Lord, I'll worry tomorrow about what needs to happen tomorrow, which I did. And then in the morning, woke up, had a good look at it, scratched my head, and just, everything I do with the Lord, it's looking at the mechanical side of things. Okay, there's oil. It seems to be a seal in the front of the engine. Righto, I'm going to go back to the service station, fill up, grab a bottle of oil, and I'm going to keep going. I'll just take it easy. Got to get to Darwin. That's when the next weekend of gigs are. So I did that. I got there, used about 1.5 litres of oil getting there, but I got there. And then through one of the gigs I did with one of the people I did gig with, she said, I've got a mechanic cousin. He can hook you up. Had a great experience with him. We got it fixed. And I was able to get back on the road pretty much only half a day behind what my original scenario was, my plan was. And after that, it was almost after that little episode too of meeting the mechanic, befriending him and learning that his wife was also a musician and more relationships that we're building there. It was just perked me up, and it actually helped me through the next couple of days of driving. And being half a day behind in Darwin, I actually rocked into the East Coast half a day earlier because I was just pumped and I'm driving. And
wow, that's
so
awesome.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. So what I heard in there too was that, something that needs, you could be really worried about trying to sort out now. You can, you're already in a place where you can just have a feed or whatever and put it off till tomorrow. It's that power of now thinking, that we hear lots of people talking about, just like being in the right now. Like right now, everything's completely fine. Like I don't have to fix the car tonight. I've got food. I've got somewhere. I've got a swag. you know, the only drama that I have, if I allow myself to think that I've got a drama, is that something bad's going to happen tomorrow or something. But what's the point of that? You know,
Yeah.
the power of now.
And it kind of winds us right back to where we began when we first started talking to David. He was saying he's a human being. And it's that being, you know, it's just allowing yourself to be in that now place and know that, like you were saying, 90% of what we worry about never happens. Like it's not automatically letting ourselves think of the worst case scenario, but it's just being in the present moment, knowing that it's an adventure with you and the Father, and you're just like, you know, you're every little thing is a part of the adventure. Like he's not just going, oh no, that's normal, like earth stuff. I'll just leave you to deal with that. You can figure it out. But he's actually in all of that. And, you know, the beauty of that is coming out the other side. You've got new friends. You're like charged, you know, like friends that are just like, you know, revved you up. And now you're like cruising through time instead of sitting underneath it. You're landing somewhere earlier. And like, it's just,
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. Yeah.
Time can be stressful, Dave.
I
Not for a human being.
I would think that I definitely don't stress too much, and that's been a good 9.5 years of learning that now, not to stress too much. So yeah.
So how about you pretend that the rest of the world is not exactly like you, Dave, and you might stress about time, but I notice in my daily goings on around other humans that time is a measurement that seems to make lots of people anxious.
Yeah.
You don't find that?
Time. What did you say? Time makes people anxious.
Yeah, like having to be somewhere at a certain time, you know, only being able to talk to you for a little bit of time because you've got something else to be at, you know, that kind of rapid movement.
Being bound by the confines of time.
Yeah, I guess that's just something that I notice, and possibly it's just I'm hoping that it's not a season for me. I'm hoping it's a forever thing, but I don't operate so much within the bounds of time. And so I notice that other people that have to leave, like saying that this is called happy hour, but it's not just an hour, you know, it's as long as you want it to be. Yeah. And I've noticed that my adventures alongside you, whenever you're around, you just seem to have this way of, if I haven't, you know, left by, let's just say we do measure time. If I haven't left by a certain amount of time during the day, then I'm not going anywhere. Three, is it?
Yes.
Yeah.
I love it.
That's another guide for you. If Dave hasn't left your place by 3, he might be staying on his rooftop camper for another night.
Pretty much.
Yeah. I love it.
No, when I'm floating, but I think it's being sensitive to, like you say, not everyone is in the same boat as yourself. When you are plugging into those constructs of time where you need to be at a certain place or do a certain job that's going to take a certain amount of time, I think placing that honor on other people's time is just to be sensitive to that is a good thing to have at the forefront of your mind when you're relating, when you're having relationship with other people.
That's good, Dave.
That's a really good point, Dave. And because yet again, you know, like when I talk about time and it not meaning that much to me in the lifestyle that I have at the moment, that's not like a message that the whole world needs to live without a watch, you know, but it's a really good point to make, to be sensitive to what is going on in other people's lives all of the time.
Yeah. And there's a certain element of humanity that likes that. What was the word I was just thinking of? The routine.
Yeah,
So,
that's right. It's true. It's like a comfort or a place of safety, and yeah. And that's the beauty
depending
of
on
like,
what type of person you are, it's you can gravitate toward that more or not like it as much. That's all the
Yeah.
beauty of the differences of how God's made us individual.
exactly.
Yeah.
I love it.
So before I introduced you as a muso mystic or something like that, and I'm sorry to attach a label to you, but even if we say that you're a mystic or we're a mystic, you know, does that mean that everyone needs to be a mystic?
That is a choice to. Everyone needs to. I think everyone would have a better experience of life if they chose to unpack the mystical side of their spiritual selves.
Yeah.
But to not do that compared to doing that, it's something that I have definitely blossomed from getting into the mystical, and all you can do is encourage others to lead a horse to water. You can't make it drink. I don't know.
Yeah.
So if we're going to
Yeah,
talk
love it.
about the mystical side, I'm sorry to be putting you on the spot. Like I said before, when you first come on, there's no notice. I didn't ask you to come on tonight, you know, days ago, do some research or something like that. You don't have to answer anything at all. But do you have your own idea of what a mystic is?
I would say quite simply, it just it would be people that are having experiences and talking about things that are a mystery to me. That's what a mystic is. So
In a spiritual context?
I think there's not really a line in that.
Mm.
I like it.
Spiritual, natural, it all dovetails together. Like Thomas Edison having his mystical idea of a light bulb and having his amount of times trying to create that as a and finally getting the winning combination. I think that process has been a mystery of a spiritual download right through to a tangible, physical, here and now manifestation of that by creating light out of electricity and gases and what we now have as a light bulb.
Wow, I love that. Yeah. So there's in your thinking. So I'm getting the gist that you're talking about, like the mystical side of things being like a renewing of the mind, an open mind to the mysteries of the universe. So it's not just like a Christian discussion or just a religious or just a spiritual thing. It's like a wholeness of life discussion.
Yes.
The possibilities. They are all things possible or not?
Well, all things are possible.
Yeah, come on, Dave.
Nothing is impossible. No thing is impossible.
Yes.
Take that literally, but then to seek in the spiritual mystic angle, if you like, of the way you devote time and live life, to be open to those downloads of how that looks and how that is to be unpacked to then live out our lives.
I love it, mate. I'm really putting you on the spot and I'm enjoying it. And you got some ripper answers. In the Bible, you know, it talks about storing up treasures in heaven and not on earth because they rust or they get moldy, etc. on earth. but to store your treasure up in heaven. What does that mean to you? Is there a place in heaven where you think that, the things that you're earning spiritually here are stored for when you spend all your time there? Or what does it mean to you?
Store up your treasures in heaven. Well, I don't think too much about that, to be honest. That one, it's
Like I said, mate, I apologize for just chucking you on the spot, because it's not, it's you know what, it's just like everything that we do. It's a conversation. You're sitting on our lounge. It's not like we have to have an answer that we're teaching people or something like that. For me, because it's something that I get challenged by in my thinking about. I think I've figured out that things on the earth, money, possessions, things like that, are not supposed to mean so much so that I don't spend any time thinking about the mysteries of God. So to me, it kind of means if I stop.
Well, here's a question. Your question, when you say you're storing up your treasures in heaven, is that for somewhere in the sweet by and by, or is that in the here and now, as heaven is?
Yeah. Well, that's
right here, exactly. As close as our very next breath. It's not.
Yeah.
That's right.
In the sky when we die.
Exactly. Is it for later, or are we already there?
Actually,
because
for now.
Heaven's in us and we're in heaven, so is it for later? Is it like a line we've drawn in the sand that says, when I get to that place, then I'll get my treasures, or are they available now?
And when you first asked that question, that's probably where my mind went, of something, okay, back the way I've initially been conditioned of, heaven, somewhere in the, what am I doing now that will affect something?
Yeah.
That I may or may not see the fruits of. Now I'm processing. I'm actually thinking, well, that's coming back to those relationships and the people, the other spirits, beings that we are able to interact with and engage with, and storing up those treasures in heaven. I think it's
because I think, mate, what I've seen over time, even let's just talk about Mother Teresa, someone like that, that everybody knows who she is. She lived a life on earth, where she didn't have much worldly possessions, and the other nuns that sort of worked in her order, etc., they live a life of simplicity, so then we get a lot of people in the Christian faith who, it's like this thinking where, okay, well, I don't need much to live here. I'm not, and a lot of people would even say I don't deserve much, or it just depends on how you think about yourself. But as I slog out my life, as I carry my cross, as I toil through this life of burden, one day at least I'll be in heaven where I'll be able to access those treasures that are stored up for me. So I think that there's in my experience of meeting people, I come across people like that. And I also then come across people who are still in that discussion about, hang on, isn't heaven here right now? Like, if I'm storing treasures up there, haven't I got access to them right now? So for me, I think a lot of the way that I process things comes back to who I believe that I am, as to what I think that I deserve right now as well, and whether or not I'm postponing things for later. If I just suffer a little bit here on earth and just do it really, really hard, it doesn't matter, because, I'm just a humble servant, and one day I'll have everything in this other place when I die. Is that your thinking, Dave?
Well, initially when you asked that question, my upbringing went to that default position.
Yeah.
But like I say, hang on, no, that's the case of
we're seated in heavenly places.
That's it. Yeah. Getting back to a tangible thing of like, I have some money sitting in my bank account. Do I go and buy some stuff to make me happy, or stuff that might rust and be destroyed by moths or whatever? Or do I go and buy something for someone else who is in need and be the answer to their prayers, bringing heaven to earth in the here and now, somewhere, not somewhere in the sweet by and by, to give them relief or to give them happiness and satisfaction of something that creates heaven in the here and now for them.
It's so powerful, Dave. Yeah, exactly.
You've got a very similar job, or what I see your job as being is exactly like the job that God told me that I have on the earth, and not job as in you work for me and you've got to do this and do this amount of hours. But I was asking him. Sorry, mate, you go.
A light worker.
Hey, come on.
That was one of them, mate. Yeah, for sure. But I've had a new revelation too. That he showed me in a vision, and with my hands I can still see what it was like, that I'm to scoop up pieces of his creation and share it with others.
Nice. Come on.
And that comes through talking. It comes through music. It comes through artwork. It comes through just by being yourself and going places where he has you go and just being yourself. And so for anybody that's, that's watching this, that's wondering what's my purpose in life, what specifically is it, maybe you can just consider that part of it is to just share his creation with others. And it takes a lot of pressure off. It did for me anyway. It's just like, wow, I just get to go and have coffee with people and talk to them, and I'm sharing his creation. I'm co-creating words. I'm co-creating sentences. I'm doing that light work that we spoke about before as well. I'm actually, that's what I'm called to do.
Yeah. Come on.
So as you
pieces of his creation and sharing them with others.
Yeah. That's what you're doing, mate. Like when you've got notes flying out of your out
Just
of your
felt like
mouth.
Kylie then. I love it.
You've got notes flying out of your saxophone. You've got notes flying out of your guitar. It's just pieces of creation flying around. And unique creation. That's one off. Never to be repeated. It's like a unique artwork that you're sharing in union with him, with others.
Yeah,
so
I use that a lot with people when I'm thanking them or letting them know what I can do for them when I'm interacting in a business sense. It's all about making memories. I find myself saying that a lot.
Yeah, come on.
Look forward to making some memories with you, or thanks for the memories. Yeah,
I love it.
Another little one: collect memories, not things, in living life.
Yeah.
Wow, that's another one. Did you make that up, Dave?
No, there was another meme somewhere that I saw.
The meme, I love it. That's a good meme. Really relatable.
What do they say out in the territory, like out Uluru and that? There's a saying, only take photos and leave nothing but footprints or something like that.
Yeah. Good one.
Well, what else have we got for us, Dave?
I just want to encourage people to enter his gates with thanksgiving and enter his courts with praise. Hopefully I've got that the right way. It's just the key is to be thankful and to praise him for everything that we have, everything that we're able to do, and everything that we are, our being.
There's nothing to add to that, mate.
Oh, I love it. I love it, Dave. It's so good.
Thank you so much, Dave, for jumping on like
Yeah.
only 10 minutes before we came on, or as I was sitting here preparing, started messaging Dave, and it
Yeah.
was, thank you so much for jumping on and just being that person that's ready to just have these conversations, because I just wanted to encourage people to have these conversations. You don't have to, you don't have to wear silly glasses and hats or shirts, or you just be yourself and get amongst your mates, whether it's on Zoom or on a phone or however it is, and just have those conversations that really expand your thinking. That's where we want to be. That's what we want to be doing with people, is creating those conversations about the mysteries of him. And thank you for being a part of our existence, Dave. We look forward to running into you in the physical as well, somewhere probably a bit further south from where you are now. So for anybody that doesn't know who Dave is, it's just got his name Dave on the screen. Contact us. He's a phenomenal musician. He will travel. He will co-create in your area. If you need somebody to pop in and be there for a few hours or a few days, contact either Dave Graffin Muso online, or else come to our website, etc., and we'll put you in touch. Thanks, Dave.
Yeah, thanks so much,
everything
Dave.
under @Dave Graffin. If you just find that online, and that'll connect you to something.
Awesome.
Put your
put a lot more.
We didn't prepare anything in advance.
So
I'm sorry, but
that's Dave's Instagram name there, Dave Graffin.
Yeah.
and
you've
he's
got-
mystical.
yeah, definitely. Yeah.
I should have put that
So
shirt
great.
on, shouldn't I? Oh,
That's a great
yeah,
shirt.
it's a really
mate. It
happy
is, yeah.
shirt too. I love
He's
it.
probably got it over there, has he?
Hey, come on. Yeah, I can't believe you just went right to you.
He does live out of a suitcase.
So good. Hey,
Yeah, there's my suitcase
that's
right
it.
there.
And that scoops of your creation all over that shirt. I love it.
Yeah. So thanks for joining us, mate. We'll just cut to a 24-second goodbye. He's all of the
Come on.
and his saxophone, and he's ready and willing to travel your way.
I love it. Yeah, thanks so much for coming on, Dave. It's been an absolute treat.
Yeah, and we'll surprise you again one day and give you not much notice.
Great. Thanks, Wildfire
Thanks, Dave.
Tribe.
Awesome.
Thanks, Colin.
See you guys.
Keep being
It's
awesome.
a pleasure. Cool.
See you, everybody.
See you